Ariane Gray Hubert. It's a pleasure to have you with us today. As we all know, you are a singer, composer, songwriter, and a concert pianist. You are a pioneer in projecting and creating the unique music and art between East and West, and that too with your piano and voice. So, can you share more about your journey as a female artist from East to West?
Yes, thank you, first of all, for such dialogue together. So, as an artist and a creator, I have brought together peoples and communities world over through my music and art by blending rich musical traditions between East and West. And this is how and where my work is a pioneering work. That's one. Also, in my heritage, by imbibing different traditions within my family. For example, my mother was a very renowned American portraitist and painter in the States, and then afterwards recognized world over, and also other strong personalities in my family. I have also been exposed to very rich cultural and spiritual values, which I also carry in my music through innovative sounds, unheard languages, and different messages altogether. This you can hear, for example, in some of my albums, like Beyond Classical Worlds, where I play with a clay pot from South India and mix my voice in a very unusual way with Konako, for example, and my latest album, The Monsoon.
Yeah.
So this is how I can define my pioneering work and my approach to music and art.
Great. So now that you are in Delhi and you have spent a lot of time in Delhi now, there is a different cultural experience for you, like from west to this state. So how is your experience in India different from the other countries? Majorly in terms of gender equality, women rights, and freedom of expression as an artist.
That's a huge and very important question. First of all, India has given me a lot in terms of work, but I also worked very hard to achieve performances and other artistic production of mine. Gender equality, it's a very, very tricky and important issue. I have been able to perform in very important venues, for example, and on a lighter note, I always have been exposed, but being accompanied by men all the way through. So I was thorough with my art and at the same time blending my art and music with male colleagues. That being said, I feel also that at certain times of my career, there were no discriminations at all, but at other times, there were more. And I feel today that giving a platform to a woman is still hard, especially when one wants to perform in other prestigious venues today. It's hard for a woman. That's clear. In France and the rest of the world, I had performed many years ago already novel programs by highlighting women works of music, but also with poetry, theater, and literature. So already I had created a path to expose to the Western audience the treasures of women's works. So I see some changes now, but in terms of equality of production being given to the publics here and there, it's still unequal. Talking about rights, well, there is no question. Rights are not the same for a man and a woman. And I'm very clear about it, and I think I'm not the only one to be clear about it. If a man gets an opportunity to perform, it's because preferably the choice is given to a man first, then for a woman.
So here you are talking about performing arts?
Performing arts, yes. But I will go further, one step further. when it comes to composition, I'm a composer. Uh, it's harder as well because you don't have the same opportunities than for male composers. So you have to work harder, and you have to get some supports from various sources and different peoples naturally. That being said, again, I have had extraordinary support from men in India who are who have been very much appreciative of my art, my music, and also my novelty. So it's a mixed bag. You cannot define and say, well, there is inequality or there is, well, gender difficulties. It depends. But to maintain a career on the long way, for a woman, it's harder than for a man. About freedom, well, I have always been free as an artist to create. And I respected very much the rich musical traditions world over. Um, because I blend in such a way, for example, Hindustani and Carnatic traditions, also with Vedic chants, which I have been exposed to and trained in India. Um, Definitely, I gained support from audiences all over India and respect also for that. And it's not only in India, it's also abroad. It's also in the West that, for example, in France, when I created my hit track entitled La Tilana du Petit Prince, the Tilana, which I performed at Petit Palais in Paris for the festival Namaste France, the public went crazy because they heard for the very first time a woman breaking barriers by telling a formidable tale in which languages? In French and Sanskrit together. So there is no formula, but the path for a woman is certainly harder and it takes time. Takes time.
Okay, so you want to say it is same worldwide,
Yes.
right?
Yes. I wouldn't say that here it's black and over there it's white. Not at all. No.
Great. Now, we have heard that you have worked with various government and other bodies, various private communities towards empowering women artists and promoting girls' education. So, how do you think these things have influenced societal views on gender equality and women empowerment?
Well, that's also a very relevant question, especially in today's times. I've been invited by several governments world over to perform my music and to perform other musics as well. For example, with the Brazilian government, I was invited in India to perform and give my music, blending Eastern and Western traditions, along with some Brazilian flavor. And something which was a first of its kind, the government has requested me to narrate, chant, sing an extraordinary poetry by a Brazilian lady called Cecilia Meirelles, who incidentally was in India in the middle 50s of the 20th century and who won one of the highest award by Pandit Nehru himself. Okay? So there was already in India recognition for formidable women in arts. And I was also requested to continue that lineage by lending my voice, composing music, and giving a tribute to these formidable women. So that is one case. The Tata Group in India has also invited me to perform my music because they felt my music represented India, but India in another way. So I have given a flavor, an innovative flavor, to Indian audiences as well with my music. And it's the same in the West. The French government has commissioned a specific composition for the tribute for Frédéric Chopin birth bicentenary anniversary. And this piece I have composed is called La Note Bleue, which you will hear on YouTube. And it's not so often that you hear an artist playing a music after Chopin extraordinary notes. That's also another thing. Then UNESCO asked me to do L'Inde de l'eau, highlighting water in India. So all these causes where I was linked with and other causes that I wanted to also highlight came all together in a packet. So I was approached by several governments. Yes, indeed. I also responded to some foundations. I also helped girls' education. I also led my voices for the Baha'is community in Iran, where there is no freedom of speech and where women's voices are barely heard, in order to make the world more peaceful. Because without women's voice, you can't progress.
Definitely. Yeah. Okay. On this International Women's Day, what advice would you be giving to all upcoming female artists and entrepreneurs?
Oh, I've been asking this question myself a lot of times, and I still don't have a good answer. Why? In a male-oriented artistic platform, it's harder for women to penetrate not only the circuit, but also to make her name stand in a longer time. You must also be aware as a woman that you don't ask a man about personal life. He's not going to bother about family and so on. This is given to a woman.
Yeah.
The woman bears the pressures on both sides.
Personal as well as professional.
Absolutely. So for a woman artist, it's even more. Because as a woman artist, you have to give so much of yourself into your art. It's not just 3-4 hours in front of a computer, for example. It's really a daily routine which requires a lot of discipline, strong will, and of course, a faithful approach to your art, because you cannot lie in your art naturally. So for women, it's harder on both sides. So which advice will I give? To work harder and harder naturally, but be also a smart bull, because it's not only talent which counts, it's also how you are smart about projecting your work. But also I would advise a woman not to sacrifice her personal life as well. Why? Because a woman is so deeply connected with her feelings that she would sacrifice her own voice, and that would be, I feel, hard on the long way. So it's very subtle va-et-vient and path between getting where you want to be and at the same time not making such difficult sacrifices where you don't leave anymore. You have to live as a human being as well and be happy.
Ariane, before we conclude, can you tell us about your upcoming projects or performances that our listeners should look forward to?
Yes. Right now, I'm taking some extra time off in my busy schedule to write 2 books. One is semi-fictional and biographical, my own journey between East and West, and the other one is a tale for adults, because they need to think a bit differently in this world, being in such a mess, and also for their children. I'm also going to perform in some prestigious venues in France in September, October next, and in London as well, with a different music program. And I'm looking forward very much to it. And last, I'm giving some new workshops about voice and body, which I have done for many years. And I've been invited to give these workshops in UK and France very soon.
We wish you all the best for your upcoming project.
Thank you very much, Nida.
And it's been an honor to have this conversation with you. So on this International Women's Day, I hope that, people who are listening to you, women who are listening to you, would be inspired by your journey.
Yes. And I wish all women on that special day a lot of resilience, courage, and hope and self-confidence. That's very important.
Thank you, Ariane.
Thank you.